Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We have to honor Srila Vyasadeva. So this is Bhagavad-Gita, as it is, Chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. Imagine how lucky we are to sit together to hear the most confidential knowledge from the Supreme Authority, Krishna. So we're on verse 26. Yes? Patrang pushpang palang toyang Yome bhaktya prayachati Tadaham bhaktyupahritam Ashnami pratyatatmanaha. Patram, a leaf. Pushpam, a flower. Palam, a fruit. Toyam, water. Ya, whoever. Me, unto me. Bhaktya, with devotion. Prayachati, offers. Tat, that. Aham, I. Bhakti-upahritam, offered in devotion. Ashnami, accept. Prayatatmanaha, from one in pure consciousness. Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Responsively, if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Srila Prabhupada's purport. For the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, in order to achieve a permanent, blissful abode of eternal happiness. The process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy and can be attempted even by the poorest of the poor without any kind of qualification. The only qualification required in this connection is to be a pure devotee of the Lord. It does not matter what one is or where one is situated. The process is so easy that even a leaf or a little water or fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one, therefore, can be barred from Krishna consciousness, because it is so easy and universal. Who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by this simple method and thus attain the highest perfectional life of eternity, bliss, and knowledge? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. he is not in need of anything from anyone because he is self-sufficient, and yet he accepts the offering of his devotee in exchange of love and affection. To develop Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Bhakti is mentioned twice in this verse in order to declare more emphatically that bhakti, or devotional service, is the only means to approach Krishna. No other condition, such as becoming a brahmana, a learned scholar, very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti is never casual. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service to the absolute whole. Here, Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the primeval Lord, and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals what types of sacrifices he desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme, in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants, and he avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unasked. Thus, meat, fish, and eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desired such things as offerings, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, fruit, flowers, and water be given to him. And he says, of this offering, I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, and eggs. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper foods for human beings and are prescribed by Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since he will not accept it. Thus, we cannot be acting on the level of loving devotion if we offer such foods. In the 3rd chapter, verse 13, Krishna explains that only the remains of sacrifice are purified and fit for consumption by those who are seeking advancement in life and release from the clutches of the material entanglement. Those who do not make an offering of their food, he says in the same verse, are eating only sin. In other words, their every mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature. But preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture of the deity of Lord Krishna, and bowing down and praying for him to accept such a humble offering, enable one to advance steadily in life, to purify the body, and to create fine brain tissues which will lead to clear thinking. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food, since he already possesses everything that be, yet he will accept the offering of one who desires to please him in that way. The important element in preparation, in serving, and in offering is to act with love for Krishna. The impersonalist philosophers who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse of Bhagavad-Gita. To them, it is either a metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of the Bhagavad-Gita. But in actuality, Krishna, the Supreme Godhead, has senses. It is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one sense can perform the function of any other. This is what it means to say that Krishna is absolute, lacking senses, he could hardly be considered full in all opulences. In the 7th chapter, Krishna has explained that he impregnates the living entities into material nature. This is done by his looking upon material nature. And so in this instance, Krishna is hearing the devotees' words of love and offering foodstuffs is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. This point should be emphasized. Because of his absolute position, his hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand that the absolute, supreme absolute truth can eat food and enjoy it. Okay. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Okay. I'd like to offer respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnavas, and of course whenever we read Bhagavad-Gita it's always inspirational to offer prayers. So here we're seeing Krishna's personal nature. If you love somebody, you want to cook them a nice meal or offer them something love, you know, especially when you're in love you want to bring some flowers as a gesture, you know, offer me a flower, Krishna is saying. So if the boys can run around and offer the girls flowers, and sometimes the girls offer some nice food stuff, loving exchanges are between all of us because Krishna is in our heart. We're just like little Krishnas running around trying to be controllers and enjoyers, but he's the supreme Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So Krishna, it's amazing how he's created this body, you know, the little finger, every finger has a purpose, and the nails, and the ears, and the nose, and eyes, and all the different functions of the body, legs to walk around, hands to do the different things we need to do. How possibly could it happen by chance? Anybody ever seen an explosion and something miraculous comes out as miraculous as a human being? So for those who are not envious and those who are not atheistically minded or just want to forget that there is a supreme controller, there's a supreme Lord, creator of everything, maintainer of everything, and destroyer of everything, then these unfortunate souls, as described earlier in the 9th chapter, those who are envious or, you know, atheistic and want to forget God, he lets them, okay, continue in this material world. So we've heard how Krishna is creating the material world, and as he creates all these worlds, he simply glances at Mother Nature. He glances at Mother Nature, and all the living entities are animated or brought back to, it's like you're in deep sleep, and Krishna just all of a sudden, okay, you're back. Remember all those desires you had, and here you go. You got the material nature, goodness, passion, ignorance, earth, water, fire, air, ether, all these ingredients. We can make you any kind of body you want, any kind of form you want. You want to be a fast animal, make you into a, you know, one of those fast running wildcats, you know. Yeah. So human life is a gift, is a rare gift, And here Krishna is teaching that I am the sacrifice. If you're worshiping demigods, you're actually worshiping me. The fire is one of my separated energies is also me. The result of the yajna is also me. I am the purpose of the Vedas, of the study of the Vedas. So if we start seeing that everything, when we're trying to progress, is going step by step, and that we may be hearing the absolute truth here, Bhagavad-Gita, as it is, due to the mercy of Guru Parampara and Srila Prabhupada, but most of the people in the world don't have the proper guidance, and they may have read this literature and that literature, seen this yogi and this group and this religion and that religion, and there's so many things going on in the material world where people are misled and they don't have the clue as what I should do, what should I eat, how should I worship. When you think about, when you see in the history the Vikings or the Romans and or beyond that, I mean, people think 5,000, okay, just 10,000 years ago humanity started, Darwin's theory or some other so-called anthropologist's idea. 10, 20,000 years ago, you know, monkeys and then cavemen, and then gradually we progressed to civilized human form. This is all mental speculation, because actually humans existed in the past, we exist now, we continue to exist in the future. We've existed 5,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, 100,000, millions of years ago. The planet Earth has been there since the creation, which is a very long, long time, beyond our capacity to understand. So Krishna is giving instructions in Bhagavad-Gita. If you work for me, give me the results. Bhoktarang jagatapasang sarvaloka maheshwarang suhrida sarvadbhutanam gyatvamang shanti mrichati. I am the controller of all the worlds. I am the supreme enjoyer. You see, we want to be the enjoyer, but Krishna is actually the supreme enjoyer. And if we act in such a way to give Krishna pleasure, we naturally become happy. Prabhupada gives the analogy of the senses. You know, we see a nice rasgulla and the fingers, you know, start crunching that rasgulla. It's no good. You take the rasgulla, put it in the mouth, they feed the stomach, then everything is nourished. Everyone is nourished. So if we selfishly try to squeeze that rasgulla without putting it to the stomach or offering to Krishna, then we're just frustrated. So people don't know how to make an offering. They don't know, well, if I say, come to my house for lunch, and the next thing I'll say is, what do you like to eat? What do you want? So Krishna is telling us ahead of time, I want water, I want some fruit, okay, some flowers would be nice, and everything else related to that, the vegetables, this, that, and everything else. And the varieties. I drove to Jaipur yesterday to see Radha Govinda and all the wonderful deities in Jaipur, but also to see a friend. And I was appreciating all the flowers, the bougainvilleas, the unique colors, yellows and hot pinks and this and that. And Krishna is very creative, isn't it? He's full of variety, because variety is the spice in life, isn't it? When you see a variety of fruits or a variety of vegetables, variety of flowers, colors, and assortments, we recognize that there's some intelligence behind this. Someone may be a great artist, oh, the flowers look almost real. So imagine what the real artist, Krishna, is making with fragrance and scent. And it's like beyond our imagination. So Krishna very simply is teaching us, I am the taste in water. Who's not drinking water? Everyone's drinking water. You have that thirst. So when you drink the water and you quench your thirst, you think, this is Krishna. And when you see the sunshine, the moonshine, this is Krishna. Isn't it? So it's like he's making it very, very simple. Arjuna's complaining about the mind, the complexities of our desires and senses. We're overtaken by anger, jealousy, lust, greed. You know, we may think, no, I'm not like that. Yes, we are. You know, we have all these traits because we're entangled in the material modes of nature. The pure spirit soul is is perfectly clear, like the raindrop comes very crystal clear. When it hits the mud, it becomes muddied. So we hit the mud of material existence, and now we have not only earth, water, fire, air, ether, but now we also have the mind, intelligence, and the ego. That ego, you know, like somebody insults me, I'll show him. Isn't it? What, you know, everyone wants to be appreciated, everyone wants to be respected, and if someone is criticized, ridiculed, or mocked, they feel hurt, they feel bad, you know, they develop friendships. But the mind is constantly busy, looking for how to engage the hands and the feet for sense gratification in the material world. Basically, everyone's looking for love. And man thinks the woman will give love, and woman thinks man will give love, and you know, my children, oh, they're so beautiful. Krishna has a mystifying potency. He makes the little puppy furry and fluffy, and you think, oh, so cute, you know? But an ugly old dog, you know, okay, and also a little baby, even though he's crying and peeing and pooing and making all kinds of racket, still the father and mother, oh, my little beautiful baby, you know. And this is love, natural love. So Krishna has that love. And we're expressing that's the same qualities of Krishna in the material bodies. You know, we have our love towards our family, our wife, our children, our relatives. We have, you know, love for our country, our race, our nation, you know, maybe, you know, universal consciousness. But generally people are very bodily conscious. All the wars are based because motherland, and because, you know, you stepped on my territory, or my race is the superior race, my religion is the superior religion. So all this is based on the body, that I was born from a particular mother and father. My body's a particular color, or, you know, whether I'm Macedonian, American, Russian, Indian, Christian, Hindu, Jew, Muslim. All these are temporary designations of the body. And this body was only created 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago by Mother Nature due to our desire. Krishna told Mother Nature, okay, you put him in the womb of this mother, and this is the father, and these are the activities he'll carry on. This is due to his desires and activities, what he's done. Whatever we do in this life is being calibrated. Somebody's keeping track of everything. And although we are performing, say, sinful activities, and even if we've stopped performing sinful activities, we still planted the seeds of those activities, and those seeds will sprout, the plant will grow, flower, produce fruits, and we'll taste the fruits of the tree of our sinful or pious activities. That I worshipped the gods, I did a lot of good humanitarian work, so I can elevate myself to the heavenly planets, live a long life of beauty and enjoyment. But all that is temporary, so it's not recommended that we waste our energy and time simply to worship the gods, like in the Viking days, or you know, you've seen a few Viking movies, you think, or even ancient Rome, around even a couple thousand years ago, they, you know, Zeus, and worshiping the water god and the air god, and the former Indians in America, and of course South America, various tribes. And they're finding ancient cultures. In Dwarka, they found Dwarka, they found the bridge, Lord Rama's bridge. Now they're going to build that big Ram temple in Ayodhya, the beautiful Ram temple. So if people would have a little faith, Shraddha, this is important. Most people lack in faith because their mind and their ego overpowers their good logic and sense. If we take our time to hear Bhagavad-Gita, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and really enthusiastically try to participate in rendering some service to the Lord. You know, imagine that you're eager to come and see the deities and sing and dance before them, or just eager to chant your rounds so that you can go out and tell about Krishna's glories. This is a real Mahatma. people sometimes think that someone is a Mahatma just by his external appearance. You know, he looks like a sadhu. He looks like a sadhu. You know, they say that's a real guru is recognized by his speaking and glorification of the Supreme Lord. We've heard in the very beginning of the 9th chapter how Narada Muni, although he had never studied Vedic knowledge or wasn't born in a great family, he didn't have all the so-called pre-qualifications, which someone thinks if you come from a highly elevated Brahmana family, oh, I come from such and such family. That's good. It's pious, and you're fortunate to take that birth. But if your behavior is less than the Shudra, then you cannot think yourself that, oh, I am from a great family, because we have to behave in a certain way, like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanavedanam. By hearing about Krishna, chanting his glories, remembering the Lord, encouraging others, sitting down the kirtan, performing your work, just like all of us have family responsibilities. You're doing your work, but at the same time, you're reading the scripture, you're chanting your rounds, you're purchasing your boga, anticipation, how I'm going to make a nice offering to the Lord. Every day, some people have their private worship, and we have our deity worship here. Every day we have so many offerings, some nice sweets, burfi, rasgulla, sandesh, sweet rice. And then you have the Raj Boga with the various sabjis and dal and chutney and chapati and all the different things that Krishna likes to eat. And everything should be done in the mood of cleaning and preparing and cooking with love. Because Krishna's not hungry. It's not that, oh, you know, he's waiting for me to cook, you know, poor Krishna, I'm late. You know. Yeah, you should be on time. You should not make Krishna wait. Because your prayers of love to the offering, Krishna's eating, it says. He says he's eating by the devotion of your prayers. So Krishna is not limited to his senses. He can eat with his ears, he can eat with his eyes, smelling even, you know, all his senses are interchangeable. And there are mystic yogis who have powerful, powerful senses. In Siddhaloka, they can actually go from planet to different planets. And you know, we might think we can't even jump over a little puddle. We think that how is it possible somebody can have that kind of power? But the mystic powers in Kali Yuga are not present because people are just not qualified. And we're considered the most unfortunate age, Kali Yuga, the worst age. But the Lord is so merciful and so kind. He's about to appear, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in Gaur Purnima, that's in the 28th. So, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratashe Namaha. So Krishna is kind. It's not that he's just threw us in the material world, locked the door and went out to have fun with gopis and Radharani in the groves of Vrindavan, forgot all about us who are struggling with our mind and senses and repetition of birth and death, and I'm a king, I'm a pauper, I'm a slave, I'm a queen, you know, I'm a movie star, I'm a powerful, you know, controller of many other people, and I'm a Birla, I'm a Rockefeller. In New York, I used to work in Rockefeller Plaza, so you know, I'm a Ford. My friend Ambarish, Alfred Ford. So it's like everyone is a controller to a certain level, but the supreme controller is Krishna. And the more we can get free from this misidentification that I am the controller of my family, or I'm number one, I'm very powerful, then it's more conducive to spiritual life. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna manina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. We hear about being lowered in a blade of grass, humbler than the blade of grass, and you know, more tolerant than the tree. The tree is getting the hot sun, and people are picking the fruits and abusing in so many ways. But the tree is very tolerant and just giving. always giving and giving shade and protection. And the grass is being trampled upon, but still it stays humble, but it also comes back up again to do its services. So when we come, if we can come to the platform of not just seeing that I'm worshiping the deity, God is great, He's on the altar, but all these other people, they're not, they're just ordinary people. They're not ordinary. Krishna's in every living entity, everyone's heart. So it's hard to understand and how to appreciate even those who maybe in our estimation don't deserve our appreciation and or we want to just even avoid. But still, Krishna's in their heart, everyone's suffering or enjoying the results of their past activities. And this is the laws of karma. And this is not just our philosophy, because comparatively speaking, Srila Prabhupada's books are in all the major universities, and everyone agrees the Sanskrit comprehensive purports and translations from the original Sanskrit text are the highest and the most effective. The philosophy is very clean and clear to understand. It's not some word jugglery where someone is talking about cosmic consciousness and just emerging into the absolute oneness of all, or by meditation we can become God, there's many speculative ideas about philosophy and what to speak of. What is the goal of life? They think it just, okay, I have my religion, I'm okay, I have my religion. Sometimes people, they stamp themselves, I'm a Christian, I believe in Christ. That's okay, believe. Belief is good, but follow. We have to follow the law of God. If someone says I'm a law-abiding citizen, he must know what the laws are. If you're breaking the law, if you're stealing, if you're killing, if you're lying and cheating, how you can expect to be free from the punishment of the law? So Krishna has his laws. Mother Nature has their laws. And so if we're thinking, just as the one cardinal was speaking with Prabhupada, he said, well, we're killing the cows to feed the children and the hungry people, like that. But they have no conception that by slaughtering the innocent animals, especially mother cow, which is giving us milk, its dung is nurturing our soil, the bull is plowing our soil that you put the seed in, and everyone's drinking milk and making so many nutritious, full of vitamin products from milk that'll give refined and better brain substance to understand the higher truths of spiritual life. Then how you can kill your mother? That was the argument of Chankazi and Lord Chaitanya. He said, why you follow a religion that allows you to kill your mother and father? Well, what do you mean? The cow is giving milk, everyone's drinking milk, so that's your mother. The bull is tilling the fields, that's your father, because without planting the seed and then, of course, depending on God's gift of rain, He suppresses the rain in the summer, and He pours it during the rainy season. There's a day and night, everything is systematically calibrated by Krishna. The sun is shining out of fear of Krishna, the wind is blowing, isn't it? The planets are rotating and spinning. The sun, it's like everything has its harmony, everything has its order and purpose. So here we are on tiny little earth, spinning around, floating in the universe. The sun is giving us our nourishment and nutrition. Without the sun, nothing grows. Without the rainfall, nothing grows. We don't have this GMO seeds. You think we're going to manufacture in our nut and bolt factory some seeds. We depend on Mother Nature. We depend on the Lord for our sustenance, because without food, there's no milk, there's no cows, what to speak of proper water supply. So, Maya Jakshena Prakriti Suyate Satcharacharam. Krishna's Mother Nature is working under his direction. So Krishna's Parasya Shakti Vividbhaiva Shruyate, that by his just desiring for something to be done, it gets done. Like I may have a whole load of dishes, and my wife says, "Hey, do the dishes," and I'm desiring the dishes to be done, but unless I go there and get to it, I'm not going to get those dishes done. So Krishna, he has a miraculous power of doing things just by his will, just by willing it. This is potency. You see, we're a tiny little caliber Krishnas, but we don't have quite the same understanding of the full potency. So we're a drop of the ocean, but that great ocean of Krishna, he's personal, and I know that maybe there's an overemphasis on the impersonalists' views to distract us somehow or other. The flowery words of the impersonalist makes it seem like, merging into the ocean, becoming one with the ocean. Even the sunlight, if you look through a screen, and these are very small molecular particles just floating around. If you saw the sun is shining in your room and you're seeing all the little particles moving about. So the sunshine is composed of millions and trillions of little sparks of the sunshine. But it doesn't mean that it's homogeneous. It just mixed and became one. The green bird entered the green tree. Doesn't mean it became the tree. The bird is still there. It has a relationship. You need to have fine-tuned vision to see it. So Krishna is giving us an indication how we can go back home, back to the spiritual kingdom, by remembering Krishna. Offer me patrang pushpang palang toyang yomi bhakti prayashati, with love and devotion. Well, how do I get this love and devotion? Shraddha. First step, Shraddha, sadhu sangha. So you have to have a little faith, and you have to take it seriously by associating with devotees. How do I associate with devotees? Be with the devotees. Hear Bhagavad-Gita, you're associating with devotees. Sitting in class, you're associating with devotees. Chanting Mahamantra, you're associating, with the holy name. Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivritti, Bhajana Kriya. That all our bad qualities, we all have some qualities, bad qualities that exist because of being conditioned in this world. Anartha Nivritti and Bhajana Kriya. So it's like a washing, cleansing process. But it begins with faith. And when we hear from Krishna, we're not envious. That's the first point Krishna made to Arjuna: because you're my friend and you're not envious of me, I will give you the most confidential knowledge. And Arjuna, he was not a Vedic scholar, and he was not a Brahmana performing yagyas and sacrificial ceremonies. He was a warrior, but he was Krishna's friend, and he was in love with Krishna in such a way that when Krishna revealed himself, he said, Parang Brahma, Parang Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramang Bhavam, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adi Devamajam Vibhum. Krishna, you're the supreme absolute truth. You're the ultimate, the supreme purifier. So we want to come again to that platform of loving Krishna, serving Krishna. We've forgotten our service to Krishna. Shruta Kirti said one time that Prabhupada, in nighttime when he was getting some massage, said, I just want to again play in the groves of Vrindavan or be with Krishna and Balaram. So we should not think like some people speculate, oh, we were never with Krishna, we've always been entrapped in this material world. It's a deep philosophical understanding that although we may have been here for a long time, higher, lower, this planet, this universe, this body, that body, we've been through the Ferris wheel, up and down through the higher planets, lower planets, middle planets. It's been going on for a very long time. That's why it's described that God realization is not an easy thing, but it can be made simple, for those who actually see and hear that, yes, Krishna is my Father, God's my Father. Obviously, He's the Father of everyone, He's the Creator of everyone. And what is the harm that I think instead of just buying and cooking for myself, that I'm purchasing fruits or gathering fruits and vegetables and different offerings I can make to the Lord and just do it with love, and Krishna, he reciprocates in that way. So he is a person, and we have a wonderful opportunity in the human form of life to come closer to Krishna. And as we're reading the different books, Nectar Devotion, by the way, is such a beautiful book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. Philosophically, the first several chapters, it describes our eternal nature, but then it goes into deeper rasas and feelings and emotions and things that we actually experience in this world, but because they're centered around material things, they're just temporary and lead to misery. But there are many beautiful examples of how we can use our anger and lust for Krishna. There are many beautiful examples, and we think, well, how do you do that? Everything's engaged. Even Kamsa, he was thinking, oh, who is this little boy? He can't do anything. Oh, he killed so many of my friends. Maybe I should surrender to him. Nah, he's just, you know, he can't conquer me. So like he's going through various mental gymnastics, many emotions, anger, sometimes humility, sometimes feeling himself very proud, and sometimes feeling overwhelmed and confused about, oh, he did lift Govardhan Hill, I better be careful, killed a big elephant, you know. So it's like that, and we start relating that we have all these kind of experiences in this world, so let's bring them towards Krishna. You know, put Krishna in the center. And that's why we're known as the Hare Krishnas, you know, because we're always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's nice. I was in Jaipur and we went to see Radha Govinda, and you see everybody before they go to work, they all come to take darshan of Radha Govinda. And here we see in the temple, when people come into the temple room and hear the kirtan, see the beauty of the temple and the samadhi, and see the deities, how beautifully dressed they are, and you know, sparkling with spiritual potency. And then hear the holy name, the kirtan, seeing people dancing and singing in a festive mood. And this is very touching, very arousing. You know, so this is our business as servants of the Lord and servant of all the living entities, is to give people an opportunity to be attracted to Krishna, to take up the process of Krishna consciousness for their own benefit. You know, it's not like we're looking for propagating or a big following, but naturally we want to help those who are suffering, because we're all brothers and sisters, we're all part of Krishna, and we don't belong in this world. So we're trying to loudly broadcast the Maha Mantra, because all sacrifices, all offerings, all acts of charity, all acts of devotion, all acts of renunciation are ultimately meant to help us so that we can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's always a good thing in class. You can always get everyone to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Then you know you're doing the right thing, right? Maha Mantra. So we have a few minutes if anyone has any questions, comments, or corrections. Yes, Mata?
I was just wondering, Gyata Sukriti has a big part in a person's life. So we mentioned about, and we know Adosrada. So there is faith and there is a Gyata Sukriti. So I was just wondering about the Pula and the Pusha, and which one is more.
Yes.
Maybe Kadamba, Madhurya Kadambini might have an answer, but you can share.
Agyata Sukriti, the blessing, how you say, almost unexpected special blessings of the devotee and the guru, Agyata Sukriti, almost like we didn't deserve it, but it's just like an honorary college degree. But then the balance of faith, that okay, you know, someone is very faithfully struggling along and following, but the Agyata Sukriti is a special, practically a gift. It's not impartial. We shouldn't think that, oh, I hope I get some Agyata Sukriti. It's a spontaneous, loving exchange. And those who are fortunate, or, as Prabhupada said, all of you have performed devotional service to even be here with us in your previous lives. And this is you know, the Agyata Sukriti, that you, the special blessings you may have received for your activities. And of course there are many depths of explanation of Agyata Sukriti, but simplistically speaking, that it's a special mercy coming down from a superior personality, or the Supreme Lord God giving us a chance. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is full of Agyata Sukriti. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. He's giving freely. It's like Jagai and Madhai, they deserve to be given a good punishment. But Lord Nityananda begs, no, no, no. In this age, you came to give mercy and save the conditioned soul. So this is Agyata Sukriti also. But faith will also help us to trigger that Agyata Sukriti. That, you know, we should have some faith. We have faith, and then somehow Krishna leads us in such a way. That's also a combination of Agyata Sukriti and faith. It's my own little interpretation. I'm sure other self-realized soul can give another explanation, maybe. Yes, Ma.
I'd like to talk about Agyata Sukriti that Prabhupada has put into our daily program for us. So people who come into the temple who've never done any devotional service, we immediately sing Gurvastakam to glorify the pure devotee. We do Tulsi Puja. We ask them to circumambulate Tulsi and remove their sins that way, put a little water on Tulsi. So we're getting them to do some devotional service, but they don't know what they're doing.
Acha.
So that's another form of Agyata Sukriti.
Right. I like that. That people somehow stumble into the spiritual atmosphere and they get immersed, or, you know, like you said, water Tulsi, hear the holy name, take some prasadam, many ways of getting the special mercy. You have you're good?
Yeah, actually, in the past, before Prabhupada came or the bhakti got so started, there were only 5, that's my research from Varnashram. The 5 things were Tulsi, Prasad, Vishnu temple, and Vaishnav, like this. But now, by Prabhupada's grace, you can, like, unlimited, you can't even count. Book distribution, holy name, restaurant, a garland devotees wearing, you know, like going in Harina. So one day we started counting, and there's no limit to the amount of Agyata Sukriti that Srila Prabhupada has created right now.
But that's why the faith is also important, because there's some people, no matter how much sunlight is there, will keep their window closed and not accept the sunlight. Someone who's faithless and or a non-believer, you know what I'm saying, that sometimes no matter how much mercy is available in the form of book distribution, prasadam, kirtan, festivals, Lord Jagannath, some people still don't seem to allow themselves to let the Lord's mercy come. But the Agyata Sukriti is there, and it's available for everyone, but you have to be willing. They say you lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Any other question?
In the word for word, it says when you offer from one in pure consciousness. So that presupposes that your consciousness has to be pure in order to offer something to the Lord.
Where is that?
In the word for word.
Oh, word for word. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
From one in pure consciousness. So maybe is Krishna still accepting, because at least I know I'm not pure. You know, and my consciousness is not pure. But I'm offering every day anyway. Whether it's pure or impure. So does that mean Krishna accepts?
Yeah. Well, you see, as Arjuna was complaining about the same thing. Krishna says, by constant practice and detachment, you'll come to the stage of further realization. So although our consciousness may not be fully pure, and or our offering may not be offered in pure-heartedness, simply by going through those steps, gradually is becoming purified. And ultimately, Krishna will accept the full offering with pure consciousness. but it's not a switch we could turn on and off. It's a whole life's mission, you know, in the sense of doing the things that the spiritual master on behalf of Krishna has instructed us to do, and we know ourselves as we're advancing in Krishna consciousness.
Okay, so that I just had a thought. That means that because we ourselves are not offering, actually the spiritual master is offering. So he's the one that's giving us the mercy to allow Krishna to accept.
That's right. You got a better answer than me, that's for sure. Yeah, because we're on behalf Srila Prabhupada. That's very good. Yeah, see? Why aren't you sitting over here? She's next. She's up next.
She did last.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. We're not. We may not be on a very high platform, but we do have. Prabhupada would be often proud and say that all my devotees are pure devotees, you know, out of his expression. But it's like a mango. It's green mango, but if it stays on the tree, it'll ripen and it'll get very sweet, yeah? So we may be a little bit impure and we're in the cleansing process, but we have the seed of devotion. Bhakti is there, so we keep nurturing that bhakti. The stem will grow, the flowers will sprout, and the fruits will manifest themselves in the form of bhakti, love for Krishna. Yes, sir?
I want to share one thing. I received a message from a friend through WhatsApp. Tamal Krishna Maharaj asking to Prabhupada, how many pure devotees in the planet?
How many pure devotees in the planet? Yeah.
Prabhupada answered, how many devotees in ISKCON?
How many devotees in ISKCON? Prabhupada is very proud. He said that my spiritual master has sent all of you to assist me in the mission of Lord Chaitanya's mission. So we may think, no, how is it, I'm nobody, how I can be. But this is Prabhupada's words that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta has sent all those who are involved in serving the mission of Srila Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 6 Goswamis. We have a whole family tradition here. The literature, the culture, the history, everything is there for us. So we should be very happy to be serving in Srila Prabhupada's most wonderful Sri Vrindavan Dham. Okay? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.